you. The who we are, who the Ohio Academy of Science is, our youth programs, Science Days, and Ohio STEP, and kind of talk a little bit about where the programs might fit into your curriculum. We want to introduce you to Project Board, which is the online platform by which we deliver our programs. Share how you can get started with our programs and some of the benefits of doing that. And then we'll take some questions. The Ohio Academy of Science is a nonprofit organization founded in 1891, and it was developed with the idea of promoting science and scientific research and giving the scientists of the day an opportunity to kind of share their research, talk about scientific discoveries, and just have that kind of connection with other scientists. So they did that through an annual meeting and research symposium. And in 1900, they started the Ohio Journal of Science as an outlet for publishing their research. So both of these are still in operation today. We publish the journal, and we also have our research symposium. And it gives the young professionals an opportunity to get started with their scientific careers and presenting and publishing and things like that. But like any other organization that wants to continue to foster their particular discipline and trying to get new and young people involved, they realized that they needed to start some youth programs to get the youth of the day interested in science and hopefully wanting to develop that as their careers as well. So we want to share our programs with you. We have two youth programs, Science Days and Ohio STEP, and we have three competition outlets, so competition events. So Science Days has the district and state competitions under their umbrella. Ohio STEP has a state competition only, and Buckeye Science and Engineering Fair is a third competition. So I'm going to talk about the two programs in a little bit more detail in just a moment, but I want to focus on the Buckeye Science and Engineering Fair just a bit because it is a qualifying competition for the International Science and Engineering Fair. There are different fairs around the state that are qualifying competitions for that, but not distributed evenly around the state. So this gives students an opportunity to who don't have a fair to be able to enter a fair. And you can enter more than one fair, but it is a great opportunity for students who are in high school and really are focused on science and getting that kind of feedback, especially at the international level. While we have some students who will just do Buckeye Science and Engineering Fair, most students will also enter our Science Day program. So two different entry competitions, often using that same project. Another note on the Buckeye Science and Engineering Fair that's really exciting. Next year, 2025, the International Science and Engineering Fair will be held in Columbus, Ohio. And we are very proud to be the local sponsors of that event. We'll be the local hosts, and we will need lots of volunteers. So I have put the QR code up here for you to learn more about those opportunities for how you might be able to volunteer next year. It talks a little bit about what those volunteers opportunities are like, and also it shows what that whole event is going to be. So we're very excited about that. It's the place to be next year. This year they're in LA. Next year, Columbus, Ohio. What can get better than that? So a little bit more details about our program. The Science Day program is a science following the scientific method. Scientific method. It is a science experience. It is something that students will come up with their interest and their idea, and that is what they study and go through the process. It's open for grades 5 through 12 to participate and to compete. So when I talk about the competition, the students will create their project, choosing either to focus on a hypothesis-based research or meta-analysis project, or they will focus on a engineering design project. So we have two different templates for this because the process is slightly different. So students will begin following the scientific method in a hypothesis-based research. They will come up with a problem that they want to ask the question. It has to be a testable question. They will go through the process of science and following the method. If they don't have a data set, if they're not coming up and getting the data themselves, they can use other data sets. So meta-analysis is another opportunity for students who don't have, can't like generate the data themselves. They can use other data sets that are available and analyze those using appropriate methods. So 2 different pathways really for students, but using that template because it's following that same process. The other type of project, as I said, is the engineering design project. And it follows the engineering design process where they come up with an engineering design statement. They design their plan, they will do a prototype, they will test to see whether their design statement was correct or not. But it gives a very concrete sort of, project and process, especially for those students who like to, create and build a little bit more. So 2 different outlets for students to enter the science fair program. We encourage local fairs that can be either in the classroom, in the school, in the district, but you do not have to do a local fair. A student doesn't have to participate in a local fair in order to enter one of our district fairs. These district fairs are in different colleges, universities, some career tech schools are the host of those. They are responsible for organizing the fair and coming up with the incentives of scholarships and other awards that will be awarded at each district fair. They're very different depending on which district and who has come up with those local opportunities. But they're all under our umbrella using our guidelines, our process, and our kind of protocols. When those are all in person, students have the opportunity to discuss with judges and other people in the organization or at the fair about their project and their process. So they have the presentation skills, they get to practice, answering questions about the research that they did and essentially having to defend some of what they did and why they did. So it's a very good experience for students, especially once they get over those nerves. Those who receive a superior are then advanced to the state competition, which they can then enter. And that is under we take care of that. So we organize and we run that particular fair. This is a virtual fair where students at this level, they will have to, because it's all done virtually, will be creating a video that is their presentation. So they have the opportunity to kind of perfect that a little bit because they can kind of decide how they want to present that and, do different takes if they choose to. They will also have to create a digital board. So if this is where they're doing, many of the district fairs will allow them to do the trifold board so they can kind of get artsy, craftsy, and creative with their board and showing their data. Some fairs will allow that. Some fairs allow you to do the digital version of a presentation or a printed version. Each district fair is different in that sense. But for the state competition, everyone has to have a digital representation of their work. So a quad chart is what we call that. And we also use that, have a template for that guides people that's very quick and easy to do. But other versions, if you're already using something else, as I know some districts do, they can use that as well. But it has to be a digital representation that the judges can easily see the board and understand the data, just as they would if they were in person. Again, opportunities for awards and scholarships at that state level. Because that is not in person, we then have, for those who receive superiors, we have a celebration, a state celebration of science. And we're actually having that this weekend for this year's group. Those students who receive that will have the opportunity to move forward and come to that. They have lunch. They get to go and see different parts of the Ohio State University, different labs, different experiences. So they have an understanding of, kind of what science is there. And they have the opportunity to meet with sciences, and they bring their boards and they share their projects with other people who are also at that particular event. Ohio STEP is our STEM, our applied science project. It is STEM and entrepreneurship. This used to be called Believe in Ohio. This was started in 2014, so it's 10 years old. while Science Day is about 90 years old. So we have a little bit of age difference there. So this is still our newbie. Science, it stands now, as we've rebranded it, to be Science, Technology, and Entrepreneurship Program. So that's what the STEP stands for. This is open for grades 5 through 12 to participate, but only high school students can be part of our state competition. This is designed around and kind of modeled off of the Lean Business Model Canvas that is used in business to assess whether a business will be feasible, whether it can run, whether they'll be able to do this business and have it, last and go forward. So we've modeled it along that. So they're rapidly assessing whether or not the problem that the student wants to solve will be a product or a service. They're applying science and technology to create something that can be used out, in the real world to solve problems and to help people. They're seeing market opportunities, and the student will develop this idea and then assess whether or not it can be turned into a marketable idea. They have to look at the business aspects of it too. So it really pulls in a lot of those details of connecting your students to career opportunities, career awareness, often, local businesses. The connection is really strong with trying to focus on, kind of solving problems that you're also seeing out in business. So this can be kind of tacked on and used with other local competitions and groups that you might have with some of your local businesses. And the other thing that we've done with this program, especially in our rebranding and updating of this program the last year, was to kind of align it with the design thinking process. So if you notice the first couple of sections that the students will do, they'll take a look, they'll develop a problem, but they're also looking at their target customers, just like the design thinking process tries to connect, with really understanding who the person is that has the problem and making sure that whatever you design actually solves a problem for that person. So those two alignments within this program, I think, kind of strengthen that and really work with a lot of other things that you might already be teaching and doing. We have a couple different ways of doing this. Those first steps that I discussed, everyone does. But if you want more depth and have more time, then you have can go into the business proof of concept. Or if you're a science class, you can focus more on the STEM commercialization proof of concept, where you're proving the science versus proving the business feasibility. How these programs fit, I've talked about several different classes, STEM classes, business science, biology, chemistry, engineering design classes, agriculture classes. I love when we've had ELA teachers using this as a capstone, because they've really integrated a lot of the learning that the students have done, and then they're showing that they can write and discuss and kind of develop their technical writing skills. It's also can be very easily used for clubs after school, whether it's a school but within the school, or whether it's a non-school affiliated club like 4-H. This is one that we did a test, provided this last year through a statewide webinar-based 4-H club. It was a special interest club for entrepreneurship, and we had students around the state participating in this program. Actually, it was specifically the Believe in Ohio program, as it was named then, but would be the Ohio STEP. So both our Science Day has been used in many of these clubs. They're great for Ohio STEP. Just a really nice way to get students involved and have extra time to work through some of these more complex problem-based learning projects that students might want to do. I will say one more thing about this, and I'm going to turn this over to Casey. But one of the really interesting things is, if you can work this out with your timing and your classes, is to be able to use some of our programs, as especially the Ohio STEP program, as a framework, and integrate it through different class contents to have the same project being shared across them, because you have the writing portion, you have presentation portions, and you have research, whether it's science or business. So they make a really nice integrated framework for using this particular, either of our programs within multiple classes in a classroom. Casey.
Thank you, Sheila. So I'm going to talk about Project Board. It is our online platform that houses all of our programs information, as well as Student Project Workspace. So within Project Board, like I said, we have our student project workspace where students can work all online and complete their projects. We also have our resources for both students and teachers. We have our project submission templates and the project submission portal. We also have our project showcases that have previous projects that students and teachers alike can view. We have access to mentors through this platform. We can share projects amongst teachers and other students if students want to work in a team. We allow up to a team of 3 for both of our programs for students to work. And we also are able to virtually judge and have judges come onto Project Board and look at student projects. So now we are going to take a field trip out to Project Board to take a deeper dive into what it looks like. So, Sheila, I'm stopping your screen and sharing mine. And it didn't go. So once you visit the Project Board website at projectboard.world/OAS, this is our landing page. And on this page, we have information about all of our programs, Buckeye Science and Engineering Fair, Science Day, Annual Meeting, and Ohio STEP. We have a great video that shares our mission. I suggest that you watch it. We also have access to our student portal and our teacher portal, as well as judging and mentor portals here. And then if you would scroll down, it takes you to each of our programs and gives you more information about them, as well as the project showcases for each of our programs. So for example, for Buckeye Science and Engineering Fair, you can click on Explore Projects and it will take you to all the student projects from this past year and even previous years that participated in the Buckeye Science and Engineering Fair. So if you were to click on the teacher portal, it would take you to a new page. And this is where teachers will register. Once we have our registration open for next year, it will have a red button that says Start Now. And this is where you can click and you can create your account or update your account for Project Board for the 2024-2025 school year. We'll have the updated program timeline available. And we also have teacher guidelines. And if you open this, it is a really nice PowerPoint that has information on how to create your account or update your account, how to create a class within Project Board or multiple classes, how to manage your classes, and also how to interact with the student projects and be able to comment and to mark them as being completed. Once you create your account, then you can create a class. So I'm going to walk you through that process briefly. If you go to your icon in the top right corner, once you create your account, there will be a drop-down menu and it will say My Classes. Once you are there, this is where you can add a class. And as you can see, I have a couple classes here and I'm going to open my test class. Once you have created that class, then it allows you to manage the class and also allows you to, gives you a class code. And this class code can be given to students. Students will enter the class code much like if you were using Google Classroom, and it will drop their projects into this particular class. If you are a student and you want to register, you would click Student Portal from the landing page, and it will take you to the student page. And again, student program timeline and student guidelines are here, and the student guidelines walk the students through creating an account and how to start a project. And it will also have a button here that says Start Now. Once students have created an account, then they can select their project workspace. And again, as Sheila went through, we have our 3 project templates here. We have the hypothesis-based research and engineering design projects for our Science Day program. and or for entering the BSEF competition. And then we have our Ohio Step project workspace here. Down below, when students get ready to submit to any of our competitions, they will have to start a submission project. So for Science Day, they would start this one. Buckeye Science and Engineering Fair is this submission project. And then of course for Ohio STEP. So if you chose, let's say we chose to preview the hypothesis-based research, then it would open up their project. And this is where what students will see. And as you can see, we have all of the different sections here. And students can open a section. And once they open a section, it gives them the instructions up at the top. It has an edit section button. Once you would push that, it allows you to upload documents, pictures, links to this section, and all of the students' work for, in this case, the background research, would be saved in this section. Down below, there's space for the teacher and the student to comment back and forth and make suggestions and be able to communicate. So it's a really nice way for multiple students, if you have a group of students working on a project and they're not necessarily in class together working on it, to be able to work on it outside of class, but still stay connected if you're using these templates. The last thing on Project Board I would like to share is our FAQ and Resource Center. That's accessed by going to the Help tab right here. And once you click on that, these are all of our student and teacher resources that we have available for all of our programs, as well as information about Project Board and how to navigate, set up an account, and so on. So if you notice here, I have the Science Day resources opened up. We have several articles about getting started, project types, selecting your topic, and then information on how to conduct your background research, and so on. We also have information about the judging process and about project submission. So this is really where you would go if you had questions or you needed resources and you wanted to look up something specific. For example, you wanted to access our report templates for all of our programs. We have templates that students can download and fill in the template with their research. And then it's basically complete for them. It has headings. It tells them what to include in each section. The research templates, report templates are right here. So I'm going to go back out of Project Board here and hopefully go back to the presentation.
I just want to point one thing. Did you notice a little star at the bottom? There's a blue circle with a white star. That's a little chat bot. So if you get on and you have some questions, just thought I'd mention the chat bot because it kind of guides you to places if you're not sure.
There we go. Okay. See if I can start the presentation here. I'm sorry, my computer seems to be running slow. It likes to run slow when I am on Zoom and also trying to present. Hopefully the presentation will open back up. So while we're waiting, the next thing I'm going to talk about is our timeline. And what is important to note is that right now Project Board is not open. It will open up for new accounts to be created or existing accounts to be updated in August. So check back at projectboard.world/OAS in August, and then teachers can create their account and create a class. Students can then create their account and add themselves to their teacher's class, and they can start one of the project workspace templates. From August to December, we suggest students work on their projects. And in December, our submission templates will open and students can start one of those and start uploading all of the required elements for project submission and submit their projects to our competitions. In January, the Project Board account creation will shut down. We will no longer be accepting new accounts to be created at that time. We also have most of our schools, if they host a local fair, to do that, and they do that in January, sometimes early February. And then in February, our project submission for competitions, all of them will close. And in March, our competition season starts and it runs through to May. So I wanted to share a little bit about a side project that we are working on. And last year, we partnered with the Ohio STEM Learning Network to align our programs with their Design Challenge program. And so I'm wondering if Sandy Gento is on right now. Sandy, are you on? I don't think so. Sandy Gento is the person who runs the Ohio STEM Learning Network Design Challenge. And if you want more information about this program, you can contact her at gento@battelle.org. So the Design Challenge is has a specific topic that they present each year. So if you choose to do the Design Challenge, as well as the Ohio Academy of Science Science Day program or Ohio STEP, you would start with the Design Challenge. So for example, last year, their topic was how do we improve the health and well-being of astronauts aboard the Starlab of, orbiting the Earth? And then the students had to come up with designs that would address that challenge. So if you go through the Design Challenge, their step one aligns to our hypothesis and or engineering design statement for Science Day, and it aligns to the identify a problem and target customers part to our Ohio STEP. And as you can see, step two, it shows you the alignment. So if you choose to have your students participate in both programs and give them that opportunity to then go to those competitions, they can use the same project and do it for both organizations. And maybe it will go to the next slide. I'm so sorry. So our next slide, maybe when it goes, oops, now it's skipped a bunch. 13. Talks about some of our program benefits for students and teachers. And I think, you know, the biggest benefit for students is just giving them this opportunity. You know, as teachers, that's, I feel like, so important that we give our students opportunities to explore something that they're interested in, especially with regard to science. So these our programs are personalized as well as project-based. Students engage in research. They get the opportunity to present when they go to the different competitions. They get to explore a STEM career that maybe they're interested in. They get the opportunity to collaborate with their peers if they work in groups. And of course, academic recognition and competition for awards and scholarships. So like Sheila said, we give out awards and scholarships at the district and state levels for Science Day, and we give out scholarships at the state level for our Ohio STEP program. And for teachers, we have editable teaching curriculum. We have lessons, graphic organizers, templates, and videos. And our Ohio STEP program is aligned to the Ohio standards in science, technical writing, technology, and the CTE business standards. Both of our programs support OTES 2.0 with the community involvement aspect. If you have a local fair and you invite the community in to judge and to provide student feedback or to mentor your students through a project, if you have some local community members that may have a specialty and you know that a student is interested in whatever they have as a specialty, it would be great to pair them up. We also offer program support with myself and with Sheila. We really work to help teachers and support them to get students to the finish line. And hopefully it will go on to the next slide. Here is our why. These are some of our students from this past year presenting at district and state level competitions. And we're super proud of these kids and how well they have done. They are our future. So with that, I'm going to leave you with some homework. I know it's May. We have a couple more weeks left of school, but if you are inclined, I would encourage you to go to Project Board and start on that landing page that I showed you and explore our programs, watch the little mission video. look at some of the previous year's projects in the student showcase, go to the help tab, navigate through the resources. All of our resources are available for download, so you can grab them, download them, and use them in your classroom. And in August, please create an account and project board and have your students participate in one of our programs. And so that is all we have. I'm going to stop the share and we will open it up for questions.